Welcome back to the Hot Seat with Penzola, and today we're talking about mother-in-law issues. I mean, that's a subject that's been talked about every day, all day, but what we really want to unpack today is understanding the dynamics of the relationships and how do both mother-in-law and daughter-in-law contribute to how the relationship turns out. And I know that we always blame, you know, it's always one way. Like we always say mother-in-law are monsters-in-law and whatever. But I think also as daughters-in-law, we come into the marriage, we come into the family with a preconceived idea of how the mother-in-law is going to behave, and we are ready with our boxing gloves. So today I'm going to be sitting with Bongi, who is a career woman, who is a wife to a pastor, who's also a mother, and she's going to unpack what her relationship is with her mother-in-law, and let us see how we evolve this societal norm and how do we deconstruct this negative connotation that comes with the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law relationship. Thank you so much, Bongi, for joining me on the Hot Seat with Penzola, and welcome.
Thank you, Tim, for having me.
So namhlanje sizokhuluma ngento hot. I guess that's why you're on the hot seat, right?
Oh yes.
Today we're talking about mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationships, and I mean, you know, right? This is a topic that's been spoken about for many years. There are rules that are unwritten about it. There are things. As a womakoti, we walk in, you know, you know, how is this woman going to treat me and whatever. So I think it's important for us to have this. And as the theme of the show, Hot Seat on Penzola, is that we want to look at things differently. We want to understand these hot topics. So, and I'm really happy that you are here to talk to us about that. So my first question to you, Bong, is please talk to me about what the nature of the relationship you have with your mother-in-law.
Well, it's just okay. And I think there's also an opportunity for us to have that healthy, stable relationship. It's just these little things, you know, that when you get introduced to the families and you don't understand, and you know, they use the name of the culture, you know, to introduce these things without sitting you down and having an understanding why is it done and why is it important for them, for you to do that in their family. And I'll make one particular example. You know, when I joined the family, I was told that I can't have dinner with my father-in-law in the same room, right? So we can't, it's either breakfast or lunch, but we can't eat in front of each other. So I'm always boxed, right?
Okay, so wait a minute. So you mean literally having lunch or having breakfast, so everybody else will be there, so you can't be there because ubaba zala wakho is there having breakfast. So
yes. Okay. So that's a cultural rule. It's there, right? Okay. But my view is that why am I being deprived of an opportunity? Because let's go back to my background. Really, I never had a father figure. Right. So I'm being introduced to this family. There's a father. There's a present father. You know how I see it as an opportunity
for you to
understand. Yes, and I understand that there's rituals that are going to be done later for me to be able to sit with him, right? But what I don't understand is why can't it be done? You know, why can't it be done now? Can't we modernize the culture right now? Because the times have changed. Let us think about it. And the second one was we can't really cross each other's path when we meet, maybe, I don't know, in the garden or in the yard, let me say that. Okay. Right? So
when I must be psychic,
so it's sort of like that. So I was also told that, okay, so when to get to your house from the main house, do you understand? Which is not an issue, but I still don't understand why, you know?
So like in the time that you've spent, have you ever like...
Yes, but most of the time now, I can see that he's uncomfortable. He runs away from me as my body, you know, and I can tell that, okay, it means really I don't have to do this thing, you know, I really have to hide from this guy, which I really don't understand why I need to do that.
That's interesting. So, I mean, there's a lot of things I want to come back to, which you've mentioned, actually hide and seek. But the one core question I want to ask you, Uti, what are some of the efforts wena ozenzile to get along with your mother-in-law? You know, because we are very quick to be judgmental towards a person, and we forget the contribution tina esibanayo in these relationships. What are your efforts that you've put in to get along with your mother-in-law?
One of my biggest lessons, Penny, was that never ever listen to other people when it comes to any other person.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So you'll find there's those people, you know, in the family that will influence you otherwise about this particular. Remember, you haven't known this person, you haven't spent time with this person, but already you're concluding based on other people's, influences. So that's one thing that I have learned. So I am giving her a chance to prove me wrong that, you know, this is the kind of a person that I am. But, you know, so far it's also good. The step that I have taken is that she's the woman that follows tradition to the T.
Okay.
I'm a modern career woman.
Correct.
We can blend both, right? There is absolutely nothing wrong with the Makoti raising issues with the Mama Zala. Sit her down. Mama, I don't understand why we have to do this.
Yeah.
Please help me understand why 1, 2, 3 must be done in this way.
Yeah.
I'll give an example of an issue of a petticoat. It's always an issue with my in-laws that underneath my dresses, I must always have this, no matter how hot it is, right?
Ipitikout lela mama.
Let me tell you, it is so important for my mother-in-law, for me. You know, in such a way that I think she told me about it. Yes, they're still available. She told me about it, I think 3 times. The 4th time she gave me hers to say, I need you to wear this. I really need you.
Why?
But the part that was lacking is the why.
The why.
Is explaining why is it important for her, you know, for me to wear this thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I have taken an initiative from my side to have these conversations with her and ask her, not be afraid, to say, Mama, I mean, in these modern days, we wear skirts with liners. Yes, with linings underneath. Yeah. Is there a need for me to wear this petticoat when I have a skirt with a lining? You know, that's one of the issues, right? Yeah. But then it will also depend with the person.
But have you addressed it, or are these the type of questions you are planning to ask her when you address the issue?
So I have sort of, we have spoken about some of other issues because I could see that it's affecting me more than anyone else. You know, these cultural rules for me, they are sometimes oppressive, and we keep quiet in the name of I want to be that good makoti. Angifuni bathi umakoti okhuluma kakhulu. Umakoti odelelayo doesn't want to follow the rules, because let me tell you, with our husbands, they will never raise these issues on our behalf.
Actually, that was going to be my next question, to say, how does your husband support you in this? How does he feel about it? Does he come and stand up for you with his mother? I mean, he should be able to ask his mother,
no, he really didn't until now, you know, until recently. So last week there was a wedding ceremony at one of their relatives who had to go there. He's the one who asked me to say, but really, do you have to wear doek when we are out of, you know, our home? Yeah. Really, I mean, you can't be this smart and wear doek.
But he's asking the wrong person.
You know, but he's asking, he's asking. But what I liked about him, he went to the mother to ask, Mommy, can we do this? Yeah. You know,
can she come? Can my wife come with her?
Exactly. Yeah. When we get out, she wear the doek, but when we're outside, can she take it out? Are you okay with it? I said, no, it's fine. I really don't have a problem with it. So for me, it's having these conversations. I think it's very important. That's where the Makoti and Mama Zala issues, they start, not having the right conversations. Yes.
So do you not, you know, in my head, right, I'm thinking, outside, if we separate the fact that you are a mother-in-law and you are a daughter-in-law, let's talk about the fact that you are both women.
Yes.
I mean, women in general are known to have
not
issues.
to get along.
Not to get along.
Yes.
There's a whole big theory around pulling her Down syndrome.
Yes. Yes.
You know, so do you not think that maybe this is not necessarily about the fact that there's a mother-in-law issue? Maybe it's just because we are women and you have this common person in your lives that you have to live with,
yes.
that you require attention from.
Yes, it could be. However, the other way I look at it, Penny, is, you know, when you get handed over to your in-laws, right? There's a ritual that is done where you take your kissed with.
Yeah.
And how the elders explains that is that's your coffin.
That's
right?
yes.
We are now handing you over to you are no longer one of us. Yes.
Yeah.
You are now one of them. So in essence, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with these people.
Yeah.
That's my mother.
Yes.
Right? Yes, that's my mother. So how do I make it right with her? We might have some issues around, you know, her son, but how do I, you know, invest to make sure that at the end of the day we have a healthy relationship? And for me, it's just that having the right conversations, addressing issues if there is. Mama, I don't see things the way that you see them. You know, can we find a way, you know, to make, we'll not always, you know, align or agree. It doesn't have to be that way. But I think ultimately what would make the relationship beautiful is having those conversations at the end of the day. Then you get to know each other, making time. Because, you know, with these issues of the petticoats and all of that, I ended up taking a decision to say, I will not go there.
And you not going there obviously prohibits the opportunity to build
and improve the relationship.
Yes, yeah.
That's not the right way to do it. I will go there every day when I'm needed to be there. Then I will speak about these things if there's a need for us. So if her and I can have that relationship, I don't think anyone else can contest that.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
So do you then not think that there needs to be a, how can I put it, a conversation around how we treat each other, or like some sort of a contract of how we are going to drive this relationship? And I say this because when I got married, you know, I'm very vocal. I can't keep quiet. There's no way. If I don't agree with something, I'm not going to keep quiet. But I think my mother-in-law and I got to a point where we actually had a conversation about how our relationship is going to be.
Yes.
And we contracted. So against all odds of how it should be, we agreed that we are going to make it work and we're not going to make it look like how it's been.
Yes.
And I think that has worked.
Yes.
I think because every time I have an issue, I'm able to raise it. Even though, you know, she might not like it or she might not think that it's appropriate, but she's essentially given me a platform to raise the things. So how do you think your mother-in-law feels about, is she open for such conversation? Do you think that she would be open to having such conversations where you know, trial and error, you align as you go along, and as you have an issue, the petticoat issue, I mean, from what it sounds like, it has not been resolved in our petticoat. So, you know, if you can't get the why, which one will talk petticoat if you're wearing a dress and a lining, and this is a small issue, but it's big now because I'm assuming that to her, so, you know, what is the opportunity of you resolving that and actually confronting it as a discussion with your mother-in-law? Because in this case, it doesn't seem that you can never sit with your father-in-law. Yes. You can't.
So I understand that there are some of the issues that I want to win.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm okay with that.
Okay.
For me, it's whatever that leaves me with a feeling of oppression, I will raise.
Okay.
But if it doesn't affect me otherwise, I will make means to make her happy. Your mother-in-law and yourselves, it's modern to a modern woman. It's very easy for you guys to align. Do you understand? For me, it's a traditionalist to a modern woman.
Which is very difficult.
Which is very difficult.
Yeah.
So now here's the thing. She's an elder. I'm her child.
Yeah, a child.
Right,
A child.
I need to calm down.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do just that, because
Okay.
at the end of the day, this is what I want to achieve, right? I want us to have a beautiful relationship, and so I want to have some of these things done my way, to be in my favor. And you can only do that when you do it respectfully. So I would go down on my level.
And where do you bring in the support of your husband in your decision to going down and getting the respect and whatnot? So how do you use the ammunition, which is your husband, that's here with you every day, to help you navigate that issue?
So he's also a traditionalist, right? But you know, bit by bit, I think he's also getting used to the modernized lifestyle.
Yeah.
Now he gets to understand me, where I'm going with my issues, and.
Yeah.
So he has started to support
Come around,
me. Yes,
yeah.
to come around and see things the way I see them. And this is not for me to turn him against his mother. You know, I don't want that at the end of the day. I want us to be her children.
Yeah.
And when we go there, he must see her children, not her son and the daughter-in-law.
the wife.
I don't want that, right?
Yeah.
So this is my plan. I'm gonna come down to my level. I'm gonna also make investments to learn about their culture and some of the things, because most of the things I come from emceeing, but I can tell you now, they do things differently from where I come from. You know, so for us, it's learnings for both of us. I don't know, maybe she might, taking the kind of a person that she is and the personality, I think she'll be open to listen and understand, and at the end of the day, we might achieve that goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And I mean, I think this is a topic that's been spoken about quite a bit, and your experience is different from mine and someone else's experience. But I think the general core thread is that there is that not getting along. There is that, you know, as a daughter-in-law, you're never good enough for their son.
Yes.
You know, and one of the reasons we're talking about this is for us to try and unpack and see how do we all contribute to this relationship, because it almost seems that when we speak about it today, it's a thing that is one-sided.
Yes.
You know, mothers-in-law are monsters-in-law. You know, we don't look at it as Tina
in the perspective of our mother.
Yeah, what is it that we are doing that could contribute to that?
That's very true.
You know, but the other thing I've also realized, I mean, I like the theory of psychology in general, and I think I realized that when my mom, I mean, parents are parents. Yes. When my mom makes a mistake, I will forgive her because she's my mother.
Yes.
But if your mother-in-law makes the same mistake,
yes, it's a big hoo-ha.
You want to hold on to this thing which you know. But this is the same mistake that your mother could have made.
Yes. Yes.
But in the same way, if I make a mistake, I think I get judged more.
Yes.
You know, versus if my sister-in-law makes a mistake, who is the child? You know, so there's that thing. I think there's levels of judgments, and I don't know if you've ever experienced that. You know,
it does happen. There is that element of, you know, when you're a foreigner.
Yeah, man, you're not South African.
It comes up now and again. It does. Let me just be honest.
Yes,
you know, I sometimes feel like
you need to be squeaky clean.
Yes,
you don't form part of it.
Yes. I do feel sometimes that they treat me like I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they have done mistakes, terrible mistakes.
Yeah.
And, you know, they are swept under the carpet. But because it's me.
Yours.
You know, it's this big.
Yeah.
It's this big. So it does, I think it's how you will deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, when you get there, it's how you deal with it.
But do you think this is something you can address? Like when you have a conversation with her, as you are saying that you are willing to have conversations, you know, will it get to a point where you actually have a conversation about, if you really want to treat me like your child, allow me to make the same mistakes that your children are making and you forgive them? You know what I mean? How do you think she'll respond to that? How do you think that, is that even a topic?
I don't think she will respond positively, but she
Okay.
would listen.
Okay.
Looking at the type of a person she is.
Okay.
Maybe she might take it away and go and think about it, because she's not a really a talkative person. But through her actions, I could tell that, okay, she has thought about this thing. She is now handling it differently.
No, okay.
Yes.
So there is some learning and there's a shift.
Yes, yes. As I'm saying, it's quite challenging, because she's a traditionalist. I'm a modern woman. You know, maybe she's also thinking, how do I accommodate? How do I make sure that she doesn't feel, you know, like an outsider? It's now the way she does things. That's how I would pick it up. She's not really a talker.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, the one last question I have for you is in relation to kids. You know, when you are introduced, you are the girlfriend, then you are the wife, and you are introduced, and it's all great.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's in-law issues. But the introduction of kids bring a different dynamic.
Yes.
You know, where somehow you are told how to raise these kids. You are told, hey, kids, you shouldn't do that. But at the same time, you know, in my experience, I find that the relationship, you know, between my kids and the in-laws is just, it's non-existent. You know, because when your kids when you need to go on holiday or whatever, your kids, you know, you take your kids to your mom's house.
Yes.
You know, when you need someone to look after your kids, you take your kids to your mom's house. So, but yet there's an insistence on the child must use the right surname.
Yes.
The child is of this house. Yes. But the relationship is more on the mom side. How's your take on that?
So my take is it should come from both, right? So if on the side of the in-laws family they are not making efforts, there is absolutely nothing you can do, because they must create that environment that is inviting for you to say, I'm taking you to the grandmother. You know, your other grandmother. Yeah, you are not going to at my mom's today. Yeah. You're going to your other grandmother. But if that is not, it's not there, doesn't exist, it will be very difficult, because, you know, as mothers, we are very protective of our kids. You know, we think, I mean, they'll get there and you don't know how they'll be treated. They've never been there, and we are raising spoiled brats. Let us be realistic about our situation. They get there, they are being spoiled brats, then, you know, they get another treatment. So I think the efforts must come from both. If you see that they are creating that environment, why not? But if they are pushing back, don't do it. At the end of the day, it's the kids that get impacted, not you. Yes.
Why do you think, though, that the mother, you know, mothers-in-law or your, are not making the effort to look after the kid, your child? Is there a particular reason, or, you know, could it be that they think they might feel that if they do that, they're doing you a favor?
No, they don't. Most of the time, Penny, would be the mother-in-law not liking you.
So as a result, not liking your child.
Yes.
But it's
they don't care.
Their own son's
They
child.
don't care. They don't care. They don't like you, and it ends there. They don't want anything to do with you, except for their son. Let us just be honest.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Bongi, for sharing such intimate and personal experiences. And I think that's really the purpose of the hot seat. It's to really get into the detail of what we go through as human beings and all these different subjects. But thank you very, very much. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks for joining Hot Seat with Penzola. It was a very interesting discussion today. Mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issues, rigmarole, what. But anyway, I think that the crux of it from our discussion with Bongi today is that the relationship of mother-in-law and daughter-in-law does actually belong to both of these individuals, and it's probably much more than just being a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. It is about the fact that they are women, and each one of them must take responsibility of making the relationship work. And that's really what this discussion today was about. This is a ongoing topic, and if you guys have any ideas around, any comments regarding this topic, please don't forget to comment, but also don't forget to click the subscribe button. And yeah, it's been real.